How do you trust God when life gets hard? When you're moving from the harder to the hardest, how do you trust Him? How do you take Him at His word? And how do you make yourself believe that He will handle it, that He will take you through? I believe that's the same question the Israelites had. Having stayed for long enough in Egypt and partaking of all the sufferings that came with it, that came with being slaves, they looked forward to a time they would be delivered. Of course, they had heard the story of their great father, the patriarch, Abraham. I'm so sure the parents had taught the children of how God promised Abraham that yes, your descendants will be taken as slaves for 400 years, but I will rescue them and take them back home to where they belong. Oh, how that sounds so sweet to my ears. I'll take them home where they belong, where they will rest and drink of the milk and honey in that beautiful land. In the beautiful land where you and I look for, where there will be no tears, no sorrows, no pain, no disappointment, no saying goodbye to the ones we love, no heartache, no lack, no struggle. Well, they looked forward to that time, and it sure came. They were hopeful before it came. It delayed for some. They died without seeing the promise. But for those who were lucky enough to be alive when Moses came, I don't know how they felt, but I can only imagine. During that time when the angel of death was passing over and they are eating hurriedly, or they had eaten hurriedly, so optimistic that finally a hard life has come to an end. Finally, we are going to rest. We are going home. Do you know why I told you that story? How do we trust God when it gets hard? They thought that's the hard they knew. Until after leaving Egypt, before even going far, it gets harder. They are in the middle of nowhere, being followed by the chariots of Pharaoh. They can't run to the sides because their way is blocked. There is this mighty Red Sea in front of them. Do they have to jump inside? How fast could they swim across the Red Sea before the chariots catches up with them? And they're just there, probably mumbling and complaining that, now what's this? Okay, what's this? I mean, without God, He can do better than this. So, I mean, we shouldn't have. We thought He got it all together. But Moses, but at that moment, they forgot that, hey, the promise was given. Not that you will be taken out of slavery into death, because there was no way of escape, but from slavery into the promised land. Could you trust the one who said that? It's been 400 years and it's happening. Could you at least trust that it's not in vain? How can I trust God in the hard times when life gets hard? It's simply by trusting Him. There is no way anyone can explain it to me to make it simple to answer my question. God does a miracle. And their journey would have taken a few days, a few weeks, but God knew their hearts, and they made it even more harder for themselves to get to where they wanted to be. The gift that they wanted so much was theirs, but they could not receive it. Let me remind you this, that the gift is always in the promise. Did you get that? The gift that you ask for, that you so crave for, is in the promise. The word that comes out of the mouth of God never goes back without fulfilling whatever the intention, the command was. As the Lord issues it out, it comes with a gift. So it's left on you, on whether you believe that promise to be true or you're still waiting for a sign. Because if you take Him at His word, you take the gift. And the only difference now is the time the gift comes to you. But it seems like they had never taken the gift, and so they were still, this guy Moses, are you sure? Are you sure? Because anytime something happened that seemed to be an hinder for them to progress with their journey, they went back to the reset mode, which was, we should have remained where we were. At least there, we had gotten familiar with the hardship. The hard life there was more familiar to us. This is hard, not harder like that, but it's unfamiliar. And that's what happens to us. We prefer the hard that we have been for a long time inside rather than the new, because we don't know how to handle the new and we think it will kill us. When if you look at it, it's nothing compared to the hardship that we've been through, that the Lord has led us through. This is me trying to tell you that you can trust God when life gets hard because you've been through hard and you did not die. I used to think that life only gets better, and it does. It gets better. But I used to think that in the sense that it gets smooth, and whatever is today won't be tomorrow. If we are done with the hard today, the days that are coming won't have any problems. That's such a good mentality, but then life taught me that life gets harder and harder and harder, but it doesn't make life bad, because as it gets harder, you get solutions. And when you have God on your side, the solutions are more helpful, and your life doesn't have to become somber and melancholy and all those things, because you're not doing life on your own. It's okay for people to die. It reminds you of the hope of resurrection. It reminds you to look forward to that time when people will be resurrected, because someone you loved so dearly just passed away. It reminds you of the reality of death, and that God is not a liar, and that the consequence of sin was death. Also, it's okay for people to die. It's okay to lose things. It reminds you to do all you can to gain. It also reminds you of what you did when you had those things. It's okay to lack. It reminds you of how you struggled with a lack. And this in return will help you relate to those people who lack. It's okay to go through that process that is painful, that is long and so prolonged. It will help you value that thing once you get it. It's okay to feel pain. Life teaches you how to use that pain for your gain. It's okay to be betrayed. It teaches you to value those who are loyal to you. It teaches you not to trust to the point of being careless. It's okay to change. If there are two constant things in this world, it's God and change. So whether that change is a bad one or a good one, there is always a good thing that can come out of the negative. And once God is in the picture, He can always make the bad to work out for your own good. Does it mean that you won't lose? You may lose something that you will never have again. If someone dies, you may never have that person again. But there is something that will be born in you that would have never been. And what's life if it's not about growth? Let me tell you that everything that happens to you, if you become more conscious and more mindful, even in your sorrows and your pain, there is always something born when something dies. There is always something positive in the midst of the negative. It's a process, it's a refinement, it's a growth. Most of the things happening to you, the bad ones, are not brought by God. But God is always there trying to make you see that, hey, I'm turning this thing for you. Do you see? Allow me. And it's so beautiful when you allow Him to make it work for you, for your own good. Trust me, it does. I don't believe in everything happens for a reason. Well, kind of. But I do believe that all things work out for good to those who love God. The reason why I don't believe that everything happens for a reason, it makes people more careless. They don't want to be accountable and be responsible of the decisions, and they say, it happened for a reason. Someone gets careless, falls down and say, I fell down for a reason. What reason other than the slippery floor or the stone? Sometimes, you fall for a reason so that you may delay you would have been hit by a car, But I choose to go with all things work for good, okay, to those who love God. Once you put that in your mind, anytime something bad hits you, you'll cry, you'll get emotional, but you'll also remind yourself, hey, pause. This has gone wrong. There's nothing I can do. We are not going to cry over spilled milk. Let's listen to this other side, that this spilled milk can work out for my good. How? Then God comes in. How can I trust God when life gets hard? The moment I realize that it's more hopeless to go through the hard life alone, I always ask myself, if I'm still feeling this heavy, yet I have God on my side by faith, what if I let go of Him and say that He's not hearing? I'm just gonna let go of Him. It's hopeless. It's dark. Nothing to look out for, nothing to hope for, nothing. So I'd rather hold on to God, whom I know exists, whom I know can do the impossible, whom I have proved that He has led people in the past and has led me too in the past, than walk alone when life gets hard, because it will be more harder and I'll give the devil a chance to knock me down. So how can I trust God when life gets hard? It's by simply surrendering. It's by simply telling Him that I want to trust You. Help me trust You. Teach me how to trust You, Lord. Take away all my burdens. Teach me how to run to You. The Israelites never ended up getting into the promised land, except for their children, and Joshua and Caleb, who had a different report from the 10 spies who had gone to the land of Canaan. Why? Obvious. The murmuring, the complaints, the unbelief, the lack of trust in the hard times. They thought that was it. That was it for them. But was it really? God was there all along. But because they did not trust Him, He made them go round and round and round when it would have taken a few days to get there, so that they would experience how hard it is. Because, okay, if you're crying about how hard it is and you can't trust Me, then feel it. It breaks God's heart when we can't trust Him. And when we trust Him, He makes things easier. He makes things smooth for us, even when they are hard. And so, let me encourage you this night by telling you that we have a God who lives. So whether they say otherwise, whether the hard life has made you get to a point where you question. Once in a while we do question. But do we question the existence of God? No. I've never questioned the existence of God. But at some point, I've been tempted to question His goodness. And I repented of it. Sometimes we question His presence. We question His love. But even in our weakness, when we pray that we want to trust Him, He will lead us to trust Him. He will give us evidence. And so do not be discouraged if life feels so hard and heavy. The Lord is there. The Lord is there. And you don't have to do any big thing to trust Him. You simply have to sit there